We've just uncovered the truth about what's really happening in DC, and it's nothing like what the media has been shoving down your throat. What you're about to see will blow a hole straight through their entire narrative, and you are now part of this history as it unfolds. Subscribe right now so you don't miss a single update and can stay in this fight where it matters. This is Andy with TrendingPolitics.com. Hit like, subscribe, and let's get into this.
I'm announcing a historic action to rescue our nation's capital from crime, bloodshed, bedlam, and squalor. And worse. This is Liberation Day in D.C., and we're going to take our capital back. We're taking it back. Under the authorities vested in me as the President of the United States, I'm officially invoking Section 740 of the District of Columbia Home Rule Act. You know what that is? And placing the D.C. Metropolitan Police Department under direct federal control, and you'll be meeting the people that will be directly involved with that. Very good people, but they're tough, and they know what's happening, and they've done it before. In addition, I'm deploying the National Guard to help reestablish law, order, and public safety in Washington, D.C., and they're going to be allowed to do their job properly.
Now watch this next clip like a detective looking for clues. Every word, every pause. See how they spin this. What's on the screen behind them. Also, notice every single detail because they want you distracted, nodding along, never asking the questions that you need to ask. And don't give them that satisfaction because later in this video, I'm going to be tearing their little script apart. Watch closely. Take a look.
We're standing by this morning for President Trump to speak at the White House. He's expected to address crime in the nation's capital once again as he is threatening a federal takeover of the district's local government. Over the weekend, the administration launched, I guess you call it a crackdown in D.C., involving up to 450 federal officers. And now a source is telling CNN that the plans are going even further. And now the plans call for as many as 130 FBI agents to patrol the streets with D.C. police, which, to say the least, would be highly unusual. The president's floated the possibility of deploying the National Guard even there as well. All of this despite that the numbers don't necessarily match the rhetoric, that the stats and the data show that violent crime has dropped in D.C. compared to this time last year. CNN's Elena Train is at the White House. His fixation on this is only getting more fixated, not less, despite what the numbers say. What are you expecting to hear from the
CNN and the rest of the left-wing mouthpieces are working overtime to poison low-information voters on President Trump once again. And this next lady, she's practically a walking billboard there for why their strategy works on the gullible. She has the IQ of a zero. Watch her fumble through these talking points, and she's just so flat out dumb, it's almost impressive. Take a look.
Great. The president has been trying to provoke violence here, right here, in the black communities and in the brown communities, having ICE kidnap our neighbors, having the black community be harassed and profiled and want a response. We say, hell no, we won't go. When we say we won't go, that means we're not going into those mass incarceration, into their prisons and enslavement. We won't go into their ICE, what he call his beautiful centers that he got. We won't go to where alligators live. Hell no, we won't go.
I bring this up because this is how much the left hates Donald Trump. Is that they're trying to take people like this and convince them that Donald Trump is racist and everything that he does is racist. So locking down law and order in D.C. is specifically to go after this woman and her people. What you're about to hear next is so damaging to the story that they've been selling the entire time that you're going to finally understand why the media buries it. This is the reveal. Pay attention to every detail because it doesn't just poke holes in the argument. It shreds the whole thing that they're trying to portray into confetti. And you're going to want to stick around after this video because I have one more meltdown on MSNBC that you've got to see. It's so unhinged, you don't want to miss it.
A D.C. police commander is under investigation for allegedly making changes to crime statistics in his district. Tonight, the police department confirms Michael Pulliam was placed on paid administrative leave in mid-May, a move that came just a week after Pulliam filed an equal opportunity complaint against an assistant chief. And the police union accused the department of deliberately falsifying crime data. News 4's Paul Wagner has the story tonight.
Well, hi there. The D.C. Police Union is putting its allegations on the record tonight, claiming police supervisors in the department are manipulating crime data to make it appear violent crime has fallen considerably when compared to last year. As of today, according to the D.C. Police website, crime is down 25%, a decrease the chairman of the police union calls preposterous. The union's allegations come as the former commander of the 3rd District stands accused of doing what the union says is being done day in and day out.
To areas where we know that
That's Michael Pulliam standing with the chief of police at a recent news conference. At the time, he was the commander of the 3rd District, which patrols the neighborhoods of Adams Morgan and Columbia Heights. In early May, 5 law enforcement sources familiar with the investigation tell News 4 Pulliam was placed on administrative leave with pay and told he was under investigation for questionable changes to crime data, a move that came just about a week after he filed an EEOC complaint against Executive Assistant Chief of Police Andre Wright, according to 3 law enforcement sources familiar with the complaint. The reasons for that later in this story. News 4 reached out to Commander Pulliam for comment. He denied the allegations against him and referred us to the public information officer. As for the union's allegations, Chairman Greg Pemberton laid it all on the table.
When our members respond to the scene of a felony offense where there is a victim reporting that a felony occurred, inevitably there will be a lieutenant or a captain that will show up on that scene and direct those members to take a report for a lesser offense. So instead of taking a report for a shooting or a stabbing or a carjacking, they will order that officer to take a report for a theft or an injured person to the hospital or a felony assault, which is not the same type of classification.
Greg Pemberton says the police department's command staff is focusing on 2 categories in order to get the numbers to fall.
They are actively covering up the real crime rate in D.C. And once again, President Trump is one step ahead of them. Under Joe Biden, if you look at this graph here, under Joe Biden, violent crime in D.C. exploded to levels the city hasn't seen in modern history. And instead of fixing it, they went for the oldest trick in the book. Hide the numbers, massage the stats, and pretend the crisis wasn't happening. That chart that they love to wave around, this chart right here, it's built on manipulated data. CNN, MSNBC, everybody is using this chart to show that, yeah, you know what, the crime rate was a little bit high, but now it's all resolved. But it's not resolved. It's resolved by crooked commanders who, as we've just seen, were under investigation for downgrading felonies to petty offenses just to make the books look good under Joe Biden. And that's complete fraud. And while they were running this cover up, Trump is stepping in again, 2 steps ahead of everybody, seizing control and bringing the National Guard, sending a message that law and order will not be negotiated away. And here's where you come in, because the truth only matters if people hear it. The media will do everything they can to bury this, just like they bury any positive story about Trump. But if you share it, talk about it, and refuse to let their version go unchallenged, you become part of the pushback that keeps them honest. This is why the media is in full-blown panic mode, trying to use any other story to cover this up, because they know that if people like you keep paying attention, their whole crime is down fairy tale is going to collapse. So remember this moment, remember this video, because history is going to look back on it as the day that DC crime cover-up got exposed and the day that Trump once again proved he's 3 moves ahead of everyone. This is Andy with TrendingPolitics.com. Stay informed, stay vigilant, subscribe to this video, and I'll see you next time.